Yo, what is up, Hollow Cult? Sorry for the technical difficulties there, but we are here. Welcome back to the night shift. It is Wednesday. You know what that means. Came to hang out with us.
We are here.
Everybody that's hanging out, make sure to smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, all of that cool stuff, YouTube jargon, and whatnot. That being said, thanks for hanging out. Thanks to all the people who are tuning in on this show next Tuesday on the podcast. Hope everyone's having a good week, making it through.
So we're getting there.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. Good to see everybody in here. Paranormal Trucker, what's up, my friend? Glad you could jump in.
It's always good to see everybody. Always.
Just trying to think of what kind of weird news I had in my brain. But now I can't remember because I didn't write it down.
Well, that's convenient.
Yeah. Everybody survived the giant Facebook outage.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up for a little
Congratulations.
bit.
Yeah. Weird timing.
It is weird.
I like to call that phase 2.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what do you think is really going on with
I don't know.
all the outages?
I don't know. My brain goes in a bunch of different directions. First, obvious nefarious reasons are to somehow bring down a communication grid. You know, they tested it first with like AT&T cell service, and now
Right.
I guess everyone on Facebook was logged out. Everyone on the planet, I read.
Yeah, I read that too.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's like billions of people. But then I think maybe it was something less nefarious, but also nefarious, because crypto is making a fucking monstrous run, including the old Dogecoin again, which is
Is it?
which was tied to Elon. Like Bitcoin broke records again the same day. As soon as it started breaking records, Facebook went down and everybody like scared sold. I'm like, well, that's convenient,
Yeah.
but it's already back up. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal was. It's weird though that we had a massive uh outage in our cell phone service, and then what was it? Less than 2 weeks later, we have exactly the same thing with large chunks of social media. Pretty much all of Meta was down, I guess, which includes Instagram, Facebook, Threads, whatever the fuck that is. Something else, can't remember.
Yeah, I didn't really notice it, but I guess I just don't get on that stuff very often. But I was thinking about it today. Why? I mean, communication grids make the most sense. But there's also a part of me that almost makes me want to at least put it out there that it's just to sow fear, keep everybody on their toes.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I guess I'm just not on Facebook as much as I was probably 10 years ago, maybe. But I just don't feel like there was that much of a reaction, like across the board. I saw some people posting about it on X or Twitter because it was the only thing that was up. But hell, it came back up after a few hours. The only reason I even noticed it is because Sarah's got shit service, so we just talked through Messenger. She uses the Wi-Fi, and then it tanked. So I'm like, well, that's weird. But I don't know. It's just weird that they coincide with each other within 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, I agree. That's what made me kind of ponder on it a little bit because I don't know. Sometimes I feel like, I mean, I know that things are done as fear tactics just to get people riled up and concerned about things. But I kind of feel like some, I feel like sometimes honestly, I feel like they do it with firearms. They'll come in and start talking about them, about how they're going to rip them all away and this, that, and the other. And then what happens?
Everybody
Everybody goes out and buys as many as they possibly can.
Yeah.
And you're just, I don't know. Sometimes you just wonder if, is it designed? Is it some type of design situation to funnel money in or something to that degree? Because then nothing will happen. They'll be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, never mind. We're not going to do that." Or like the toilet paper thing, when the toilet paper was a hot commodity.
I was I just looked up what is the most used social media platforms in 2024, and 3 of the top 4 were what went down, which was Facebook's number 1 with 3 billion users, YouTube's number 2 with 2.5 billion users, which I heard there was a lot of people that had that, um, their YouTube affected as well, and
Hmm.
Instagram, which had 2 billion users. It's a lot of billions.
Having something that reached that many people.
No.
Yeah, absolutely crazy.
And I mean, I don't know, because 'cause they've been kinda hush hush about it. I haven't really heard a whole lot as to um, what any kinda speculated cause was. So, maybe it was as easy as somebody hitting the wrong button. We've
Could
been
be.
there.
Or maybe it was another country or individual flexing on all these industries, and they're wanting to keep it hush hush because they don't want to seem weak and not ready for those types of things.
Yeah. Yeah. It didn't have as much of a really an effect that I thought it would. Like, whenever I saw it, I tried to sign in, and once, like, it just kept airing out, I'm like, "Well, alright." That
It
doesn't
did
feel
not
that
have
bad.
the desired effect that they
I don't
wished.
think it did. I don't think it did. I think honestly, I
People were
think
probably
people
like, "Hell yeah."
I think people are just so just, like, beat down and just out of it. They're just like, "Eh, oh,
Oh,
well."
yeah. I feel that.
You
I
know,
feel
like, UFOs are real. They're like, "Eh, social media might not exist. Eh." I'm like, "Oh, less people to contact me? That doesn't sound that terrible."
Yeah, I feel that, man. I do, because that's like a lot like, because we have this, right? We have the whole podcast and all that stuff, and then, yeah, we walk away from this and we go to our normal jobs and stuff, and it is normal life, right? Like, this doesn't get talked about at all at my job and stuff like that, and a lot of the talk is about being beat down, like how hard it's starting to get. Like, it's all kind of finally setting in on people, and boy, you just see morale just pew right through the
What is
floor,
that?
dude. Right
Morale,
through the
what's
floor.
that? Um, that is interesting you bring that up, Paranormal Trucker. Paranormal says they're showing us they can cut communication. Next will probably be banking, which I heard with the passing of, I think whoever that Rothschilds was, that may be like a omen that the banking system's gonna go after he went. Which I mean, even then, people would be like, weird."
Yeah. I mean, that would definitely be probably one of the largest impacts aside from just a straight up power being taken down. Having no access to money causes lots of problems really fast.
Yeah.
And then, God forbid it, oh, I wouldn't know this would happen if it were to completely zero everything out. Oh, we didn't know how much. We don't know how much there was in there, and unless you have statements to prove it, well, guess what?
Mine's already at 0. Checkmate.
So it is like somebody pointed out, and I hate to even acknowledge it, but it is election year. Things always get fucking
Oh, yeah.
wild during
Yeah, get
election years.
ready.
Yeah, it just I don't know.
People get
The
ignorant.
seeds of chaos are all there, just primed and ready to rock.
Yeah. It'll be I don't know. It was just the timing was sus. That's the only thing that really stood out to me was that they both it both went down.
Virgil knows what to be looking for. If everything
Oh,
zeroes
yeah.
out, we'll zero out our mortgages.
What if we all just collectively decide that money's not real?
It'll work, but everybody
Yeah.
has to play along.
Yeah. Who's gonna say that it is real
Yeah, everything's made
besides the
up.
government?
It's all man-made bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, that is true, Twiz. Money technically isn't real. It's just pieces of paper we put value to that nobody
Yeah.
really knows why or like what's backing it, honestly.
Oh, we all agreed to be a part in the game. We've all collectively agreed that.
Yeah. You're just ingrained in our system.
Yeah. And now I think we're finally getting to a point
Where we'll
in
just keep paying.
but we're getting to a point in society where, and this probably goes across the entire planet, uh, where like legitimately now, like with no exaggeration, the upper management, I will call them, they're finally getting to a point where like they are legitimately not connected to us anymore. Like they don't know what it's like to work at McDonald's because now they're all career family politicians.
Yeah.
There's a mass disconnect at this
Oh, yeah.
point where it gets to this like mother and father stage where your kid's like, hey, why can't I do this? And you're like, well, because I said so and I know what's best for you, so just shut up
Yeah.
and give me everything you have.
We're gonna
it's
take
like it's like taking your kid trick-or-treating and stealing all their fucking candy.
yeah. Today you're gonna learn about taxes.
Here's two pieces and I get the rest.
And it's gonna be the
Oh
shitty kind.
man. Yeah. Yeah, you get the bunk stuff. I'm gonna take all the stuff.
Yeah, I don't even like, honestly, I don't even know anymore. Like, I don't know that there's a whole lot that they would come through and say or do even that's really gonna throw people that far out of whack.
I agree. And I mean, at this point, they just basically have to open up a portal and let things start come rushing through.
I don't even know if that would work anymore.
I actually, on the contrary, it would probably make a lot of people excited.
I'm ready.
I could see a lot of people being ready for that fight.
Open one in the middle of my plant.
Oh, I'm with you.
I'm ready. I'll help open it. What do I need to do? What do I need to sacrifice? What do I need to fucking set up? I'm ready.
Yeah, it's funny, Dirty Birdie. One of the guys at work the other day, just like we were just kind of working, and he just stopped everything, and he looked at me and was like, "You know what? I wish they would just fucking reset it all." And I'm like, "Well, that came out of nowhere, but I mean, I agree with the sentiment."
Yeah, it it feels like that's across the board.
I
Like,
know,
people
and
are
it's
just
terrifying.
I feel like 85% of the population is just so just whatever.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah.
Aliens, whatever, interdimensional beings, and whatever.
I just speaking of interdimensional beings, there's a couple things that I just watched. Like I just now watched them, so they're fresh in my brain. But a part of me doesn't want to talk about them because I want to look into them before they get
Mm.
pushed out there. But I'll just talk about them anyways. And I don't know. Like I said, Just seen them. Haven't been able to verify any of this information quite yet, but they would be fascinating stories. Even more fascinating if we could get the person on the show. But supposedly Elon Musk's nanny did an interview. Have you heard about this?
No.
Yeah. Apparently, when Homeboy was little, he opened up a portal.
I mean, that tracks.
Yeah. And
That tracks.
I don't know if it was both of them or just her, but they fell through the portal. And now obviously this could be rehearsed and she could be playing stupid, but it does seem like in the clip that I was able to see, it did look like she was starting to get emotional.
Did
But
they
she
come
started.
back?
Yeah, I didn't get that because it was just a short video.
Oh,
and
or
it
like are we in the other side of the portal that they fell through?
no, where she fell through was shit.
Oh, so we are there now.
Yeah, but she described seeing beautiful, large humanoid beings with, and this is where it's kind of weird if she claims to be uneducated, but she says that there was a bird-headed one, a cat-headed one, a jackal-headed one.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know. I thought it was an interesting story. Something I was going to look into and see
Very
about.
interesting.
And that's
Hellfire
the
Farm,
labels
dog.
worse. I don't know. Very interesting though.
Hellfire Farm. The old gods.
And then I saw another one that I'm going to look into to see if there's anything behind it. But some young girl in 2020 got killed doing voodoo or something like that. Like she summoned something and it definitely didn't go very well for her. So I was like, well, I'm gonna have to look into that one too. That one sounds interesting.
I'm game with Elon's nanny. If anybody knows the tea, it's gonna be Elon's nanny.
Well, and if anybody can successfully pull off a portal when they're like 10, he's probably the dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's definitely not you and me.
He pretty much does whatever the hell he says he's gonna do.
Yeah, I
Like,
know. It's
hey,
like when his brain comes up, when it finally decides on what it wants to do, he just does it.
yeah, I'm gonna shoot a car into space. And everybody's like, that's dumb. He's like, watch this, shoots a car into space. I'm gonna make like personalized what's the word? Not personalized, but commercial flamethrowers. And everybody's like, no, you're not, that's dumb. He goes, watch this.
Yeah.
And then he does it.
It's wild that like he has the capacity
The
to
money.
do that. Well, yeah, there's that too.
I saw that he's like the second richest. Him and I think it was Bezos. I just keep kind of falling back and forth as to like how much money they have.
Yeah,
That's
I
just
don't
all set.
understand why those type of people just keep on pushing. I would have done been retired a long time ago.
That's what I'm saying. If you got something
Long
to
time
prove,
ago.
if you got something to prove, make your move already. If you're gonna be a
Mm-mm.
super villain, if you're gonna be some kind of like
Bro, at that point,
misunderstood
no.
misanthropist, make your AI army already. Send it.
At that point in life, what the fuck do you have to prove? You're the richest dude in the world. Even if it's for 3 seconds. It is beyond mattering.
Yeah. I don't
Like
know.
it's beyond. You do not have to worry. Just quit.
I mean,
Live a good life.
go spend 3 minutes scrolling through Elon's Twitter, and that dude is starving for validation. He is
Really?
hungry for people to like him.
I mean, I like him. I don't think he's terrible.
I think he's a nerd.
I mean, yeah. But he's pretty successful at what he's got going on. So
I'm not arguing that. He
yeah.
is a very wealthy nerd.
Yeah. He knows a thing or two about a thing or two.
Bledsoe's going to Bohemian Grove. Why?
I don't know.
If anything, that just kinda validates everything that I've said from the very get-go. I'm telling you, nothing good is coming out of Bohemian Grove.
Probably not.
Everyone associated with it are not good people.
I did. Speaking of what Virgil just said, I have not been hearing about how all the rich boys they're buying up all types of crypto too.
It was flying this week.
Yeah, I
Bitcoin
heard
broke
that
the
they're
record.
really like rich people are really punching in on crypto right now, which is never really a good sign because they definitely know a thing. They're on the inside loop there. So yeah, I sold all mine so I could survive. Sold a lot
I
of things I didn't want to sell to survive. So
forget that I have mine, which was probably better in the long run.
yeah, definitely, definitely.
I guess I'll talk about this because it's interesting and it's making all of its rounds. I saw a little snippet of an interview. I can't remember what podcast it was on. If I did, I would definitely shout it out. But uh, this guy by the name of Kalani, he's a paranormal investigator and ghost hunter. He was talking about a paranormal investigation that he was doing, and super interesting, right? I don't know how they're communicating, whether it be a spirit box or what they're using, but he starts communicating with this entity, spirit, whatever you want to call it, named Raymond. And one of the first things Kalani asks during his communication, he always asks, "What year is it for you?" He's always curious, like where they fall in time. And this Raymond says 2082. Kalani's sitting there, and he's like, "That's ahead of me, not behind me." So uh, they get to talking, and as they're communicating back and forth, this spirit is asking Kalani to do things that he would ask spirits to do as a paranormal investigator. Can you knock on the wall? Can you do this? Can you make a noise? So as he's sitting there, he's starting to think like, man, I am this entity's ghost that he is investigating for. And he says he starts to think about it. And he's like, well, 2082. He's like, I bet this guy's grandfather is alive now, probably on social media. So he gets the grandfather's name and looks it up. And sure enough, he finds this guy's Facebook. And it's in the same city where this Raymond said he was. And apparently, this guy's grandfather was deep into like interdimensional exploration and time travel forums and all kinds of stuff. And Kalani said as he was scrolling through, there was messages that said, "This is getting too dangerous. I have to go now." And then all communication just ceased.
So the entity from 2082 is the one that said this is getting too
I
dangerous.
think so. I think so.
That's weird. That's a
It is.
weird way to end the conversation.
It's. It's almost like I don't know. The more my brain thinks about it, it's kind of weird to think that we could be some other dimension's ghosts. Which I mean, I guess it's not weird to think. We probably are, honestly. But it's weird that the way that he ended it almost made it feel like it was uh, a purposeful communication. Like Raymond almost went looking for Kalani.
It's it's even crazier because it's right out of it's most likely right out of the reach of when Homeboy could be alive still in the future
Yeah. Uh,
because
let me
that's what 60 years in front of us ish.
Yeah.
So it's probably just out of, what, maybe anywhere from 10 to 20 years too long.
Let me look up the
How fucked up would that
podcast.
be if he gave him his name and dude in the future was able to find like his headstone or something?
Oh, that'd be fucking wild. Give me just 1 second. I'll find the podcast and you guys can go listen to it. I did message him and see if he wants to come on the show, but I haven't heard anything back yet.
He's probably getting flooded with
Oh yeah.
invitations, I'm sure.
He's got a couple different accounts on his on the TikTok, and
I just saw it. I just saw it on Instagram the other day, the clip you sent me.
yeah, it's popping. 1 second. The name of the podcast is the Relentless Pursuit Podcast. It's episode 83. He talks about this. Relentless Pursuit, episode 83. So go and check that out.
Much love. Much love.
It does. When things like that happen, when those strange one offs happen, it definitely makes you wonder about ghosts, the paranormal, time, how all these things fit together and how nobody really knows.
Well, I agree.
Kind of
It's
smashes my brain.
because it could be high probability that it's time, some type of time anomaly. Being that if all time is moving forward, all time is happening at the same time, that does make a high probability of that. But it also doesn't account for other. That's where it gets murky. Is it doesn't account for other accounts either. In that realm of, we'll just say spirits, right? Because you have the more demonic side of things, and then the angelic side, and all these in betweens. Because even if you look at Interstellar, even time could account for poltergeist shit. Because in Interstellar, he essentially becomes poltergeist to a degree. He figures out how to manipulate things enough, just like a poltergeist would.
And if you look at the scheme of existence and uh, biological entities,
Much
who
love,
are
brother.
the only ones that keep track of time?
Not me.
Humans. Humans have 24 hours in the day. Humans have, humans are waiting for the time clock to go so they can get off work. Like, we're constantly inundated by time. Does Frank give a shit about time? No.
No.
No. Do the birds give a shit about time? No.
And it's definitely to our detriment that we care so much about time.
Yes.
It's 100%
100%.
to our it's horrible, but it's, I don't know. I mean, that's just going to lead us into different conversations, and I don't really want to veer right now. If we get, yeah, because it's just going to revolt back to like what we sacrifice our time for, and so on and so forth. Like it's kind of kicking a dead horse at that point. But
Yeah. It is. But I mean, like, what I was getting at, like, I feel like, I don't know. Time time the way we see it is just like a unit of measurement, but I think time is like uh a construct of dimensions is so much different than the way that we can conceive it, I guess.
dude, time is a constructed prison, is what the fuck it is.
Yeah, I agree
I
with
mean, it
that.
legitimately is, because we base so much off time, like you were saying. But everything, humanity has just created this like, it's literally like we've built a concentration camp around ourselves with it. because it dictates so much of our daily lives. You know what I mean? Like, well, I've got something at 2 o'clock, so I've got X amount of time that I
Mhm.
need to manage properly to get all this shit done. And then I have to also sacrifice portions of my time to earn fake pieces of paper so I can actually survive in the world. And then shit. Now I got to go to bed and get up for work. It's literally a fucking prison
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
we've created.
And it's something you can't beat
No, no. It
unless
always
unless
wins.
whoever was talking through the spirit box has got it figured out.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And time always wins.
That
It's
is
patient.
100% sure.
It always wins. But it's I I fathom of times where like time is irrelevant, where you don't have to get up at 7 o'clock if you don't fucking want to. You don't have to go to bed at 8 o'clock if you don't want to. You
Yeah,
just you
like
just
like
you
when we were
just
little,
be. Yeah, you just
like
be.
when we
You
were
just
kids.
exist. Yeah, that's a great way of putting it when you're a little kid, prior getting into school.
Yeah.
Once you get into school, and that's when that shit starts because you manage it when you're small, you aim for recess. So then your time from, you know what I mean? Like it,
Yeah.
and then as you get older, well, now you're shooting for the weekend.
Yep. I
And
read a
that
theory
whole week.
that's why time feels like it moves faster when you get older, because when you're a kid, your blocks of time are smaller. You're waiting 30 minutes for the next cartoon to start, you know? You're waiting an hour for lunch. It's all these little bitty incremental time blocks, but as you get older, things start meaning less to you.
Yeah.
You get older, you wait for the weekend. You wait for your next vacation. You so you're constantly burning that time to get to your next big event, and all the time in between is just like time you're trying to get through to get to the next thing.
Yep. And most of that in between time is just wasted. Life is a massive sacrifice
That is
dictated by dictated by others. Like we're forced to take part in a game that I don't think many of us want to be a part of anymore.
no, but at least those other people don't care about any of us.
Yeah. I just I'm trying to focus on other cool stuff.
Yeah. To revert back around away from the inevitable that awaits us all, it is strange to think that when we are communicating with the paranormal, for lack of a better term, we, I guess I'm not going to say we, I guess I speak for myself when I say that I'm always pretty much in the camp that I'm talking to something from the past when I'm communicating with things.
Yeah.
What I mean? I guess it just comes with the idea of ghosts that they are humans that have passed on in the past. But the fact that A, might not be humans at all you're talking to, B, it might not be humans from the past you're talking to, might be people from the future is just brain melting to me.
It is, but at the same time, I'm appreciative of that information because I feel like if we were to go anywhere, name a spot, that unlocks more for us to venture down. Play angles of time if we actually do communicate with something.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Play location, play all types of stuff. Remove that block in our brain about it being a deceased person from the past. Ask if it was once a human. What are you in the end?
Oh yeah.
Like remove all of these preset blocks, and the conversation might get a little wild.
I think it is. And the fact that I've done some paranormal investigations, not a whole lot, but a handful. And that's something that I never thought to ask. Like, what time is it for you? What year is
Same,
it for you?
same.
I wonder how many people do ask that.
Probably not many.
That's gonna
And
be on my list. I'm gonna make a little
for
note.
sure, for sure. Uh, I actually have a response to not a response or a synchronicity.
Hmm.
Weird that I got brought up. Dirty Birdie says, "Do you think ghosts laugh at us because we pay rent?" Not so much. I don't really know about that. However, what I can't verify this because it was whatever. But I don't remember having any dreams last night. Doesn't mean that I didn't. But I do remember shooting up out of bed this morning or in the middle of the night. Not really 100% sure because I know 100% I went back to sleep after this. But I felt like I heard a little kid laugh and it woke me up. And
Weird.
I don't know if it was in my head, like a dream, it was ultra vivid, or if I actually heard it. But I remember waking up and it scared the shit out of me.
That's weird.
And Shauna says I've been laughing in my sleep lately.
You think it was because we did that listener interview that drops tomorrow,
Maybe,
talking about the weird little kids and shit?
maybe that could be a correlation there
Hmm.
because that is definitely an interesting listener encounter. So be looking forward to that one.
Yeah, and those in the Discord, Rabanta was on there heavy today answering some questions. So if you go back into the it's either in the regular episode or the listener episode, the questions that we ask in the episode, speaking of time being fucked up, the questions that we haven't asked yet that we already asked are already answered in the Discord. So,
Yeah, because I'm assuming she's a patron and patron get all the episodes a day early
yeah. Yeah.
and ad free.
Interestingly enough, I do have my time as a flat circle shirt on today. And we
Nice.
just went down that whole rabbit hole. Time's weird, man. Time is
Oh
weird.
shit. Or you had the same thing happen to him the other day.
Oh, that's gross. The
Yeah.
kid laughing?
Yeah.
That's
That's
terrible.
weird. That's weird.
Because we talk about that. That was what kind of set off Ghost Hunter Dave's encounter at X.
Oh shit, I forgot about that too. Yeah.
Yeah. When the
Fuck.
police officer pulled up and I guess Dave was in the middle of huffing it out of X. Uh, as they were standing there and they could hear children laughing and talking in the woods behind the cemetery because the officer asked
Super
who Dave
creepy.
was there with. He's like, nobody. And I will also not be back for my equipment. So see ya.
I don't know. It's weird, man. That listener encounter was fucking creepy.
Yeah, it was strange.
It was a really good one though.
And it also kind of twists into this because we go on this tangent where, okay, say in our realm, people say that you can open portals to other worlds using things like seances, using things like Ouija boards, using stuff like that. We go on this rabbit hole tangent where what if things in other realms are using similar tools to open up into our world? What's keeping that from taking people from our world to theirs? Because whatever these things are that we're seeing, uh, the running tally is that whatever these seven beings are will make you disappear. Can and will make you disappear.
Yeah, that's weird, and especially if you look at it from an angle of like having each dimension have the ability to open and interact with the next. It's weird when you think about it from people like you and me, because realistically, we would have no reason to open that side, and aside from just like peeking your head in, essentially. But like I wouldn't have the desire to like or the intent to bust out my Ouija board and be like, Steve, tonight is the night, bro. We are gonna open a door to the next door dimension and steal us a cat zebra and bring it back.
Or just see what wanders through.
Yeah, yeah. It's just
But we do, I mean, but we know there are people that do. Look at Crowley.
oh yeah, well, and that's like that's why I said people like you and me
Yeah.
because you know that the governments of the world would be like, oh yeah, we're going in there and we're taking shit.
Because if you look into like First Nation lore and stuff, especially like around Brown Mountain and Appalachia and stuff of stories of the mountains opening up and swallowing people. Not like
Yeah,
falling in a hole, like people evaporating into the mountains. It's weird. If me and Kyle go missing, we have fallen into a portal or consciously walked into a portal on purpose.
yeah. I mean, it's bound to happen at some point.
I'm ready.
It is what it is, right? I just treat it like God zombies at that point. Except we don't run fast.
Yeah, I'm not running.
No,
No,
no bueno.
my knees hurt too bad for me to run. I'll
Yeah,
take whatever's waiting.
yeah. I don't know. Freaking
It,
weird.
it is weird. Like trying to throw in the context of time into the paranormal and investigations is weird. It changes everything.
Yeah, because essentially, I mean, depending on how you look at time, like we were talking about the other day, essentially we're alive and yet we're someone's ghost at the same time.
We're what we think is alive,
Yeah,
which is
I
also
mean, in a dumbed down
fucking
version, it's just like I don't know. It's time gets confusing for my brain this late at night.
yeah. All well,
It's,
or anytime.
but yeah, yeah. But the later it gets, the although I do feel pretty good today. Yesterday I was fucking shot, man. The tens are kind of kicking me,
I got tired yesterday.
kicking my ass. I think a lot of it has to do anymore with the sun. If the sun's out, I'm in a pretty good mood, feel pretty good. If it's not, I'm usually tired and just trying to lax, as my daughter would say. Lay down and lax.
She's got the right idea.
Yeah. She
I
definitely
wonder
loves her beauty sleep.
at what point do we get to the point where I become a time traveler and I go back?
I don't know. We need to get there though.
I feel like the more steps we take toward this, we're getting closer.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's got to be within the current time frame.
Yeah, because like yeah, facial hair and everything is pretty much spot on to where I'm at now.
Yeah,
Like the DeLorean has started and it's running.
and we're at like we're
I just
hot and
gotta open the
heavy
door
into that world. So if it's gonna be anytime, it's got to be pretty close.
soon. Dude, I wonder if when I travel back to it was probably 1993 or 1994, if I have to relive everything over again.
If that's the case, then get us to start the podcast way earlier.
Yeah. But I'll be older because it's current me back then in the photo.
Hmm. I don't know.
Do
Figure it out. Do your
do
thing.
I
Figure it out.
age? If current me goes back to 93, do I age regularly from that point on?
I don't know. I would assume so, but I don't know.
I thought about
Because
this too. What if we finally break through and we're finally able to time travel, right? And we can finally go back. What if there's no people there? What if like all our consciousness just kept moving forward? We finally get back and there's nothing but like just this there's just this shell of what was. Like the buildings and stuff will be there, but the people won't.
that would suck.
That would be wild.
'Cause then going backwards would suck.
Yeah,
But then essentially, by that same theory, going forward would suck
because we haven't made it there yet.
'cause you haven't made it there yet.
Mm, yes. Then if the old me, if the current me is there, then then is the old me here now?
I'm just gonna throw this out there. If you do go back to like 93 and you're able to come back to 24 or whatever year you jump, try to grab and pick me up like a sweet, swishy Chicago Bulls jacket.
Ooh, yeah.
Windbreaker style.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah, that would be pretty sweet.
Unless it wasn't okay, Jeff says, "Unless it wasn't you, but alternate universe Steve tried a holosky experiment to visit you and messed up the time coordinates. So they had to settle to be 1993 you, which is actually 2024 me. Then, now."
That is way too confusing.
Yeah,
All I'm trying to do is score a sweet Chicago Bulls windbreaker.
yeah. I could be
Exactly.
on the Chicago Bulls
That'd be
in
pretty
that
fucking cool.
timeline.
That'd be cool. That means I'm probably totally gonna watch you as a kid.
Yeah,
I'm like, who's this fucking weird white dude out there?
it's like 5'8". Cannot run
He
fast.
has no idea what he's doing.
You can pass the ball like a motherfucker, though.
Then I just see you
I'm the
doing
speeding.
uh just being X-Pac out there, just giving the giving the logo, letting her
I
fly.
would. That'd be my only N NBA game ever.
Be fucking amusing though. Really would.
Yeah. Yeah. But I
One
watched I
Jordan
watched that
makes a
little
game winning
snippet.
shot, and you just see Steve running around giving the
The
X
old
logo.
chop. It
I
somebody in
love
the
it.
chat from Japan.
Oh, that's
11
fucking weird.
it's 11:51 AM. They currently are in the future according to time.
Yeah, by a lot.
But it does, man. I watched that little snippet of that interview multiple times, and it it changes a lot of things.
That's
Changes
awesome.
a lot of things.
It's awesome. Like I said, it definitely removes a lot of blocks for us when we go out and start doing our thing.
Yeah. Could you imagine if somebody was able to prove that all paranormal communication was just communicating with people from the future?
Yeah, it'd be fucking crazy. My question is though, obviously 2082 is going to be slightly more advanced than we are. My question, like the one red flag of all red flags. Why? 'Cause, and I'll tell you why. But why does it get too dangerous? What does that mean? And I'll also interject with it. I hate to even fucking point this out, but I have to. If you remember I don't remember what we called it, the ghost in the machine.
Yeah.
Some of the conversation in there ends exactly the same way.
Which is either they're they're saucing up the story a little bit,
Uh-huh.
or the effects on time travel communicating with the current time are the same.
But it still just doesn't make sense. Like if it's real and you have two separate cases now of it being reported that it's too dangerous to do that, which I'm not saying that it's not, because I could definitely see really bad repercussions for figuring that out. Because essentially, in its own way, that is time travel, right? Because you could really fuck with some things. But to be able to, because you would think, like, let's just pretend that you and me are communicating with somebody in the future, or vice versa. No, it'd be vice versa. So somebody from the past is communicating with us, and then all of a sudden we're like, what causes us to actually respond at that point and be like, yo, it's too dangerous, I'm bouncing? Because if like the Men in Black rolled up and for whatever reason they threatened us and we bought into it, we're not taking that time to take that step of going, it's too dangerous now, big guy, I'm out. You know
What
what I'm
if it's
saying? Like
not?
the conversation's done.
Yeah, what if the time period when this is going on, like 2082, what if they already know the consequences of I guess interacting with these timelines? Because essentially, what if Kalani made contact with this guy's grandfather and it's like, "Hey, I'm talking to your grandson from the future," and it just throws this guy completely off course, and he ends up not having his grandson, and then
Yeah.
the communication would have
Yes.
never have happened.
Yeah. And that's what I meant
It's
by
that
like,
weird paradox.
well, not only that, but that essentially is time travel to a degree, right? Because the sharing of information across time in its own way is time travel, because you would actively be able to manipulate or ripple effect results that way. Like you're saying, what if you said, "Hey, I'm talking to your grandson from the future," but that kicks his brain into fucking overdrive. Like, oh shit, this shit is real. I'm actually onto something. So instead of meeting that woman and having a kid and so on and so, like it creates that ripple effect to where now it's just all fucked.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I mean, they say in theory that's as easy as it could be. Like the tiniest little difference could set everything off, like off course from the time that you connected with it.
Oh, and you know that would happen. You know
Yeah.
that would happen.
Because yeah, I mean, what if this Raymond's grandfather is a key player in creating time travel, and if like what if Kalani sent this dude a message on Facebook and he goes, "Oh shit, like this is real." And then he shuts down looking into it. Or like you said, what if some government entity sees the connection, sees them talking on Facebook and is like, "Holy shit, this dude's going to do it."
Yeah.
And then shuts it down or
Yeah.
takes over this dude's information.
Yeah. Because if it hasn't already been established, which I'm sure that it has been, but if it hasn't, the in the wrong hands, that it's catastrophic. Absolutely catastrophic. Which means that if it has already been tampered with, they've already fucked things up.
Yeah. And
They've already.
if they get to it before somebody gets it together and puts it out there, they're gonna immediately make it like some like backroom project that nobody's gonna know about, first off,
Oh yeah.
and use it to their
Yeah, and all parties involved just fucking peer.
yeah. Look at the old boy that I was looking into that was creating the weather manipulation machines, right?
Mhm.
They arrested him on some bullshit, and while he was in there, they burnt 2 million pages. 2 million pages. Put that into perspective of this dude's research because they claimed it was like spreading scientific misinformation.
Okay.
Just torched it. crazy.
It's really not that crazy.
No, it's
It's
not
really
crazy.
because
It's sad.
it is sad. And if somebody were you and me were able to create time travel, figure it out. Bro, I'm telling you right now, we are ghosted the second that information gets out.
Oh, yeah.
Like you said, if any government official caught wind of that, we are murked and erased from history. They're not gonna be like, Kyle Steve, here's an NDA, here's some money, shut up. No, it's murk. Done, disappeared, goodbye, end of story. We are gonna go now, fuck the future up.
They're gonna
And
be like,
cool.
"These 2 idiots fell through a portal they opened with their Ouija boards.
Yeah,
Don't look for them in the backwoods of Granite City.
right.
Do not look for their bodies."
They're definitely not there.
I don't know, man. Because it is kind of a weird time travel trope that if you fuck with the past, you're gonna change the future.
Yeah.
But
But it could also, I mean, that is not just the case because you could just keep splitting timelines at that point.
yeah, yeah. And, I mean, according to, like, string theory or whatever, there's a timeline for every single possible thing that ever could happen ever, period,
Yeah.
the end. There's a timeline where I did time travel back to 1993,
Right.
which it might be this one. We're not just not there yet.
Dude, yeah, and that's all like all of that theorizing is far beyond where our brain capacity could actually take us for you and me. Except for that we figure it out someday and send you back into the past
What do I go back there for?
to get me a fucking Chicago
Mm,
Bulls windbreaker,
damn,
bro.
we just set it into motion, didn't we?
You know that we would be that stupid to pull that off. It
Yeah.
wouldn't it wouldn't take oh my god, what's that fucking one day we're sitting around fucking with a time traveler and I'm like, man, do you remember Dr. Slice? Oh, I do remember Dr. Slice. I mean, kind of have a time travel machine right now. Want to go back and grab
Mm,
a couple Dr. Slices?
that would
Well, of
hit.
course I do. Let's do this.
That would hit.
And then we completely annihilate the future.
Dude, fun. That's fun fact about gas money for the time machine. Let's
That's
go.
right.
Um, remember True Buy in Highland?
Hmm.
And we'd have to work the soda in the creepy basement you have to take the unsafe elevator down to get to.
Hell yeah.
I found a 12-pack of Dr. Slice buried back there. It expired in,
Did
like,
you snag it?
'97. No. Pretty sure it
Why?
was just syrup by that point.
You should have kept one for a souvenir.
I would've probably never
Probably
made it
worth,
out of the
it's probably
basement.
worth millions at this point
Yeah.
because everybody wants a Dr. Slice again.
Speaking of time, 3 AM in Ireland, also in the future.
That's
Good
crazy.
night, good night. Uh, yeah, I mean,
Here in a second, I'll top the lines and see if anybody has anything cool to say.
that is true. Timelines converging, dimensions merging, lots of new neighbors. I feel like they're
Yeah.
neighbors already, we just don't have the ability to see them. What if drinking expired soda puts me in the state of mind to time travel?
So here we go. We figured it out. If you take an expired Dr. Slice and chug it, it essentially works like ayahuasca.
Mm.
That's it.
And the machine elves just carry you around.
Yeah. Or maybe the
I'm here
machine
for
helps
it.
give you the blueprints to create the time machine. Therefore, now we have the blueprints to create said time machine and travel backwards. Definitely not.
I mean, a little bit of a point.
No.
I mean, but then
You
if we
you're gonna
drink the
you're gonna
expired
eat
soda,
sky meat jelly beans. I don't want to hear it.
yeah, I'm gonna start a Kickstarter to help fund Old Boy create sky meat jelly beans. Everybody's been talking about the sky meat here lately.
Really?
Meat rain. Yeah, lots of podcasts and TikTok creators are talking about it. Sorry about you nerds. I already emailed the guy and asked for the jelly beans.
Cry chop.
So, get
Beat you to
good.
it. Beat you to it.
Get good. Influencers and influencees.
Do
I don't know
better.
what to tell you. I
Can't
got the
steal
dude's
that.
email in my email. And he responded. What an OG.
Yeah, that is cool. It's definitely cool.
We have a direct connection to one of the last people to handle their sky meat.
I haven't opened it yet, Twiz. I'm gonna take a potty break and then I'll be right back.
Handle. I was gonna make a funny joke there, but I'd probably get kicked off YouTube. Had to do with meat and Kyle peeing. So connect that as you will, my friends. We kind of went on a wild tangent here today. We don't know a lot about time or anything else for that matter. I saw something who Eric was talking about time. Would it be copies of Adam since there would be two copies in the past? Well, we don't know anything. A. B. I don't know how that works. I am not an atom scientist. So, I don't know. I'm just going to say that once I don't know. I don't know. Kyle, how do atoms work?
Fuck if I know.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't have a clue.
Like, because they're saying if current us go back in time, where past us exist, we would essentially be made of the same atoms, right? Can they exist at the same time?
I don't fucking know. I don't know how that shit works.
Same.
That's not for you and me to figure out. All that we need to figure out is how to build a time machine and go snag me a sweet windbreaker.
And an orange slice.
Dr.
Dr.
Slice.
Slice.
Don't get it twisted. Dr. Slice.
My bad.
And then maybe I'll grab some taco pizza rolls for the wife.
Mm.
Then she'll be indebted to me forever.
Yeah, there's a lot of great things lost with time.
Mm-hmm.
Time is the killer of all joy.
This is true.
Quote that. I don't. That's probably a real saying that I don't know who said it, but if it's not, me. Time is the killer of all joy.
I don't care about atoms and stuff. Like technicalities don't fucking matter.
My name's
What
Steve,
matters,
not Adam.
yeah. What matters is windbreakers, Dr. Slice, and taco pizza rolls. Just saying.
I'm not entangling my atoms. So there.
No.
Not consensually anyway.
I do have a sweet Adidas zip up.
I saw it. He wore it to record night last week and the weekend before last.
I've highly considered taking it somewhere and having metal logo embroidered onto the back.
I don't know why you haven't done it yet.
I know. I've been throwing it around.
That technically makes us sponsored by Adidas.
Exactly. And if Corn can do it, I mean,
We should get
Obviously, those
paid
partner
the same sponsorship that Korn got paid.
agree. We are that significant in the world.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
It's
what I'm saying.
I don't know that I quite put myself on the same pedestal as them
Oh,
because they're pretty cool.
get a Wolves. Oh, wow. Almost said a Wolves bin breaker.
Hell yeah.
Bulls windbreaker. Oh, damn. When you come back, then it's the Pistons who had the dynasty in the 90s.
That
That
would
fucked the
suck.
whole timeline up.
But Maynard, it legitimately wouldn't matter to me because Bulls will always be my favorite team. So
The Toronto Raptors have made a crazy run here lately.
it wouldn't matter. Like I'll still be a diehard Bulls fan. Yeah, there you go. John got it right.
I'm
Even
ready.
Kyle's excellent adventure.
I'm ready. Bogus Journey is going to be more like it.
There's definitely going to be some bogus shit about it.
Yeah. Does anybody remember starter jackets?
Everybody ever had that Hornets pullover. Everyone. I know exactly which one you're talking about. I guarantee because I had it too. Don't even know how I ended
There was
up
a
with
lot of people with a Hornets pullover.
Bro, I'm telling you, everybody had it. For some weird fucking reason, everybody had it.
A lot of talk about puckwudgies in the chat here. We haven't done an episode on puckwudgies. What a fun word to say.
It's definitely weird.
Yeah.
Definitely weird.
Shout out starter
Oh,
jackets. I had to
100% Twiz. 100%. The pouch in the front is exactly what
dude,
I remember.
keep snacks in there and shit.
Oh, dude. So good. It was kind of like having a fanny pack without the nerdiness of having a fanny pack.
Dude, I had a St. Louis Blues starter jacket. I never watched a hockey game in my entire life, but it was St. Louis and it was black and blue, so it went hard. I was
Right.
like, "This is fucking cool." It was the only thing I wanted for Christmas was a starter jacket, and I got it.
I love how most of us don't even really remember like why or how we ended up with these ones, but we did.
Oh, everybody had them,
Yeah. That's probably what it was.
and then the timeline fucking split, and everybody started wearing Jinkos.
That's fucking true.
What? Think about that. Think about if you're
Yeah.
on another, if you're in another ethereal plane and you're trying to communicate with beings not on your plane, and you go back to 1997 and you get Jinko kids.
That would be a bizarre time to go back to.
That would be my entire middle school existence.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're telling me they made pants with so much material that they could make 4 other pair of pants
Yeah.
in one pair of pants?
Yes.
Pockets so big that you can put entire gaming consoles in them?
Yeah.
Hmm.
We were
Weird flex.
we're an excessive race. Just throwing that out there.
Weird flex. Twiz, we already knew you had Jinkos before you said that.
I was literally getting to be right. I was gonna say Twiz. Like when you brought up
We know.
Jinkos, I was gonna say Twiz still wears Jinkos.
Oh, I hope Twiz still wears Jinkos.
Oh, he has to. How does he not?
Twiz, if we put together a fund and buy you a pair of Jinkos, will you wear them?
He will.
That'd be sick.
He 100% will.
That would be sick and fly. Hold on, let me. Here we go. This might be the best deterrent I've ever heard. ZR1 says, "My mom used to tell me the people who wore Jinkos always shit their pants, so they need big pants."
He said that made me want him even more. Oh, Jesus.
You guys are on it tonight.
Yeah,
You
our
brought
best friend right there.
brought us back in. Oh, Jinkos. I guess if I'm back there, I might as well snag a pair. You
Oh,
know,
for sure. Yeah. You're gonna be
if
in
I'm
the
grabbing
area.
windbreakers, I'm grabbing starter jackets, I'm
Yeah.
grabbing Jinkos. Just I'm gonna
Yeah.
stop at
Oh,
every
and then
weird.
you can literally smuggle it all out in the Jinko back pocket.
I'm gonna. Will I be sus if I get back to this timeline, being an almost 40-year-old dude wearing Jinkos?
No.
Hmm. True. True.
No, nobody's calling.
Cause
Nobody's calling.
everybody
Everybody's
doesn't wanna
laughing
have
at
to
our
wear
Jinko
Jinkos.
banter.
They are Jinkos full of Faygo. Twiz is
Definitely
in.
sounds right. Oh, yeah.
What are some other weird now that we're just completely off topic, what are some other weird trends that we live through? What about the
Speedos.
giant skater shoes?
Giant skater shoes.
I don't remember the brands, but I remember kids wearing them and they were like the size of the shoe boxes. They were gigantic.
Oh, that's dumb.
Not I mean, did I ever tell you about the first time me and Kyle ever hung out?
Yeah, I think you probably have.
Uh, we're gonna talk about it again for anybody that wants to know, right? So me and Kyle we kind of migrated through these circles, right? I'm a
Mhm.
little bit older than Kyle, but we had like interloping friends between our circles. And I don't remember who I was running around with that day, but we all ended up at Keith's house.
Yeah.
And I get there and I see this guy skateboarding in Keith's driveway with a dreadlock wig on.
Mm. Can
And I
confirm.
said, that's pretty cool. They got this like little makeshift rail that they were all skating on. And we're like, hey, that'd be cool if you set this on fire and grind on this rail. Kyle's like, yeah, let's do it. So then we set it on
Yeah, I
fire,
did it.
and Kyle skated this rail that was on fire in his Rasta wig. And I'm like, all right, I can fuck with this dude. It's
Yeah.
pretty
I'm
cool.
lucky I didn't catch the wig on fire and
And
then
the
me
rest of
on
you.
fire. Yeah.
So that's how me and Kyle first met.
Yeah. I
Then we met
mean,
at
first
Pizza Hut again
impressions
later.
last forever.
Yeah, it was a good one. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah. I was like, all right, this kid's cool.
Yeah, so technically, I impressed you with our first impression, and then you impressed me with our second first impression.
Hmm. Do I remember this?
We ain't gonna talk about it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You're not talking about it.
Yeah, that'll get us kicked off of YouTube.
That definitely gets kicked off.
Ah.
But
It
it
clicked.
was
You said
it
it and
was
it clicked.
yeah, interesting times. All right, Twiz call back. Here we go.
Twiz.
Hey, welcome to the night shift. What's going on?
Wasabi.
Yo.
Looks like we're a pair of Jinkos if you've bought them.
See, told us so.
So
I
since you're taking a walk down memory lane, what are the incidents or the reasons you got into the paranormal or cryptid genre in the first place?
For me, I I don't know. I'd always been into it, really. I was always like reading weird books and watching weird shit on television, like In Search of and Unsolved Mysteries. And there was a weird time when I was living in the apartment complex. Like sometimes people would come over and we just listen to Art Bell. We just kick it and just turn Art Bell on. So I guess I don't know. It was always just kind of in the background of my life. It was always just kind of like this weird staple that I'd always been into. And for the most part, I could always like talk about it with Kyle because he was into weird shit too. So
Yeah.
it just kind of made sense whenever we started going down this path that that be the route we go to find more people who are into it and had experiences. I didn't have a whole lot of like personal experiences. There's some weird shit that happened, but not a whole lot. But then like when we would start talking about it, Kyle would talk about some of his shit, and I'd be like, "Oh, that's fucked up." But that's just me. I'd always kind of been into it, I guess.
Yeah, I had an experience when I was little. It was the combination of seeing a UFO and then seeing an alien in my room. And ever since then, I have been terrified / obsessed. And the same thing where I rented just fueled everything. I'd rent books like Steve, from the library, and then I would try to watch X-Files, and then I'd get too scared and I'd shut it off.
Some of them X-Files episodes are
They're creepy.
pretty fucked.
They're creepy. Some nights I wasn't even trying to hear it. I'd hear the theme song come on. I said, "Nope, not tonight."
Obsessed with what? Just the basics of why and what they are?
Kind of. And I would like, it was a high obsession with aliens at first for me. And then I started learning about other weird shit because the aliens books kind of drag off into other topics, and you're like, wait a minute, there's more weird shit out there. And then you just start reading about the Bermuda Triangle. I remember that was a big one that I always used to try to check out books on, was the Bermuda Triangle, and then Bigfoot and ghost encounters and UFOs. And you're like, holy shit, there's just so much out here. We are screwed.
Yeah, I think mine was definitely cryptids, like the basic ones like Loch Ness Monster and the idea of Bigfoot. But yeah, I mean, just that's the thing about the genre is it just spirals out, and people try to stay, grounded, like Cliff from Cliff and Bobo. He is they're an ape, and that's it. We just haven't caught up with him yet. And you have to discount what 60% of the Bigfoot stories, just cut out these paranormal encounters and activities that happen in the area the Bigfoots are, or even watching the Bigfoot do something like that, like phase out or mind speak. You're just discounting all that. All those people are crazy. It's the nature of the genre. It's something else is always gonna get its hook in you, and you're gonna go down that tangent of chasing that.
Yeah. And for me, especially when I was young, like I would always, field in school was tiny. Like my class had like 10 people in it, but the library had this tiny little section of about, there's probably 20 books on the paranormal, books on crop circles, books on cryptids, books on Bigfoot, books on Loch Ness. And in my little island brain, I felt like thumbing through these books and seeing these pictures of these monster footprints, or seeing these pictures of these weird geometrical shapes and fields in England, like I almost felt like I was part of something that nobody else was. Like I almost felt like I was into information that wasn't privy to everyone else. It made me feel like, I don't know, it made me feel like part of something that nobody else was. And that was cool as shit, because then you go hang out with your friends and be like, yeah, well, have you heard of the Sasquatch? Look at these fucking footprints in this book. And they're like, oh shit. Oh shit. I think that kind of catapulted it for me. And I think it's just the whole uh like romanticism of the unknown. Like going down this path, I think what we're striving for is eventually answers. If nothing else, like what are these things? It doesn't matter the answer, it's like getting to the answer. So I feel like that just kind of catapulted me down, trying to absorb as much information as I can to try to figure out what is going on, try to figure out what these things are, what these experiences are. And now we're here, collecting experiences of people that have similar things to the happening to them now that I was reading in books 30 years ago.
Do you remember Choose Your Own Adventures?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember a different kind of those books called Time Machine with the silver covers?
Mm-mm.
I don't
I
either.
don't.
Yeah, it was called Time Machine. And it had, like, Choose Your Own Adventure was more like, you're going down a hole to get treasure and, those types of adventures. But Time Machine took you back to, like, dinosaur times. And it was branching off kind of like timelines, like, tying back what you were talking about earlier for a while about timelines. And I always wondered, the premise is each story part is its own piece and it leads you down the path, and you either have to go back all the way to the beginning or you get to a conclusion. But I think of branching timelines in that way. You were talking about, can your atoms exist at the same time with your other pair of atoms in your alternate self and not cancel each other out? But I think once you would cross over to that timeline, you're just in a new branching timeline where those two converged. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
that
don't
makes
think
sense.
it would have necessarily effect on your atoms and your stuff. I think it would just affect the surroundings of you.
That makes sense. I didn't
Yeah,
think
I
of it like that.
remember scary stories you tell in the dark too, JJ.
Oh yeah, I think I still have the OG ones somewhere. The covers have fell off. They released a like a collective of them as an anniversary, and I bought it too not too long ago just because it was a staple of my childhood.
You think school libraries still have paranormal books?
I don't know.
Oh, for sure.
Do kids still read
Okay.
books?
On the occasion.
I know libraries are still open,
Yeah, that is
and
true.
that speaking of which, have you been in a library lately? They look insane compared to the ones that we had. You can get VHS, DVDs. You can get anime series to take home and watch, not just books. And then you have a whole catalog of a computer that you can order books to the library. It's wild.
That's
But
cool.
anyway, I'll let y'all go. Maybe somebody else will call in and tell a cool story or something. So,
Right
later,
on,
guys.
brother.
Talk to you later, buddy.
Appreciate the talk.
Later. Oh, by the way, trying to lure you guys into Indiana bit by bit. Indiana has puckwudgies.
Fucking
Good.
Jeez.
Later, guys.
See ya.
Do puckwudgies wear jinkos?
I don't know, but it's gonna get drop kicked.
Can you fit a puckwudgie in a
Missile
pair
drop.
in a pocket of jinkos?
Oh, guaranteed.
Mm.
I don't even know
Yeah.
how big one is, but it's definitely gonna fit in a pair of Jinkos.
How did we get here? This is why we're not allowed to time travel.
Oh, we'd fuck everything up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been in a library in a long time. I go to the bookstore a lot.
Went not too long ago, but I went there so I could send out or fax something to my doctor when I was on leave. And the membership for our local library is like asininely expensive. Like
I know
ridiculous.
if you don't live within city limits, it's astronomical.
That's exactly it. Yeah, Shauna tried going one day, and they're like, it's like $100 a month or something crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, yeah, okay.
I'll buy my own books for $100 a month.
That's where I'm at.
Create my own library.
Yes, I will save far more money by buying them.
I do have a problem when it comes to buying books. I'll tell
Yeah,
that
you
right
do.
now.
You do. There's
Makes for good soundproofing, though.
a subtle addiction there.
Yeah. Makes for good soundproofing.
Oh, we got one more call. And then
Hell yeah.
shut her down. All right, here we
Roll
go.
it.
Hey, welcome to the night shift. What's going on?
Yo.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Good. How about
Doing good.
yourself?
What's up?
Good. I think last time I called, my name's Andrew. I think last time I called, we talked about my drug dealer grandpa a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while, but yeah, I got a succubus story for y'all. This is like the last, or the not the last thing that happened to me, but this is like the latest thing that happened to me. It happened about a year ago, and just before I start, like I do like uh like like a warning or whatever, like if you got kids, like you probably don't want them to hear this one.
Little ears, tune out.
Yeah, young ears need to tune out pretty good. But so at this time I was working night shift, and so I'd sleep during the day, and during the day my wife would work, so really I wouldn't see her until like later towards the night. But so I come home and I just go straight to bed. I pass out, and then I woke up to something shaking me and saying, "Wake up." And I thought it was my wife. And when I opened my eyes, it looks like my wife, but I can tell it's not. With the mouth, teeth doesn't look like hers, and the eyes, they don't look like hers. I'm just like, "You're not my wife." And she goes, "Come on, baby. Do you want to F me in the vagina?" And I was like, "What?" My wife don't ever talk like that. And I said, "In the name of Jesus, I rebuke you." And then she goes, "No," like loud enough to like make me like grab my ears. And then so after that, like I say it again. I said, "In the name of Jesus, I rebuke you." And then she goes, "No." And then she runs out. And as she's running out of my room, it looks like she's like a newborn horse learning to walk. Like her legs are shaking, and like it's like her body's like distorting, and she's running out of the room, and like I can hear her bang against the wall as she's walking out because she can barely walk. And then yeah, I just stayed up after that. Like I couldn't really go back to sleep, and I couldn't move during the whole time of this because I'm sitting there like I turned towards and I looked, kind of like scared. But so this wasn't a sleep paralysis or anything, but I can like, yeah. And I called my wife and I told her about it, and she didn't believe me. She thought I was just crazy.
Well,
I
yeah.
mean,
Creepy.
yeah, very.
And yeah, that's my only time that I've ever had a succubus like encounter. But like my family has all the time, but that was like my only time.
Dude, I don't even.
That's crossing a huge line too.
Yeah.
That's a very personal atmosphere that something is trying to penetrate, and it's not good. We don't hear very many succubus stories.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, and it was strange because like I think it was a couple days before I listened to Merkel's someone's story about them having relations with the you know
You cut out a little bit there.
oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Hello?
You there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you better
Yeah,
now.
there we go.
Yeah, but yeah, listen to Tony Merkel's story about someone's story about them having relations with a succubus, and like a couple of days later that happens to me.
That is like whatever they are, like pick the most vulnerable, intimate times to try to like work their way into your lives. It's gross, that it decides to do that. It reminds me of the thing that you had going on when we were in the middle of all that crazy shit, Kyle.
Oh yeah, it's eerily reminiscent of that, except it wasn't for me. My wife was the one experiencing that, not me.
It's weird.
It was her dream that she had. Thankfully, I didn't have that dream, because I would have. I mean, in your case, buddy, you lived it. I just would have been woken up and terrified of it, and probably wouldn't have been able to go back to sleep myself.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It, it's not.
So you're cutting out again real bad. There?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man.
The service went out a couple of days ago. My phone still hasn't been 100%.
Yeah. Cell phones are a fickle thing sometimes.
Especially when a succubus is trying to censor you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, you there?
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. But yeah, guys. But yeah, it was and right after that happened, like I was just like honestly, it scared me so much, and just and it running out and looking like the way it was, like, and the fact that it gets to me looking like my wife and knowing that that's the only woman I would go to,
Yeah. It's weird that like it couldn't fully take on the form of your wife, that there was just enough difference that you noticed. Like uncanny valley kicking in. It's fucked up.
But yeah, it was close, like in the face. But yeah, those little details about the teeth and the eyes, I can see it.
That's creepy.
Yeah, I'm picturing, I'm kind of reliving it in my head, and like just like the way you describe her walking out and running into the walls and physically experiencing that is, man, I don't know how that I would have taken that experience. It would have scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, and come to find out, a woman that acting like a witch, and I don't, it could have been something she did or something that I to me, it just, yeah, they creep me out.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, that's a crazy, personal space that is clearly being tainted by something that doesn't need to be in that space. And like Steve said, it makes it even more terrifying that like the eyes and the mouth were different. Like I couldn't imagine having essentially my wife lean over me, and you're comfortable, and then you look her in the face and you're like, wait the fuck up. You are not my wife.
Yeah, that'd be awful.
Dude.
Yeah. Imagine what would happen if I let it go through.
Oh,
I don't either.
There's some people out there that probably would.
Yeah, there's some people that would, but me, no, I'm not giving my soul away to her at all.
Oh, I'm with you there, buddy.
Made a solid choice, my friend. Solid
Yeah.
choice.
But yeah, guys. But yeah, just that was the latest thing that happened to me. It happened about a year ago. But yeah, I was just calling to let y'all boys hear that one. I did email y'all about setting up a interview, but
Hell yeah.
whatchamacallit,
Yeah,
I don't know if y'all got it or not.
Yeah, we got it. We'll get it squared away at some point. We're trying to carve out time. Unfortunately, our schedules have kind of subtly changed.
Yeah.
I got voted for 10, so I'm back on fucking 10s, and then Steve has a chance of maybe getting pushed back to 12. So it'll make things a little more complicated, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, boys. I know y'all will. Y'all, I know y'all busy men. Y'all got things. Y'all got families and everybody else.
Yes,
And
sir.
everything else. But appreciate the content, and y'all boys. Y'all put it a whole lot. Y'all get me through the work week for sure.
Hell yeah.
We're glad
That's
to
what we're
hear
here
that.
for. That's what we're here for.
Basically, my week sucks.
Feel that, dude.
Feel that in my soul.
But yeah, appreciate you guys, and yeah, y'all have a good week, and yeah, we'll talk to you soon.
Much love, man. You stay safe out there.
For sure.
All right, love you guys.
All right, peace, buddy.
See ya.
Bro, fuck all that.
That was creepy.
Dude, fuck all that.
I mean, first off, I feel like she was already pissed when not only did she get turned down, but she got turned down in the name of Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
that
a
was
double
big,
whammy.
big knockdown there.
Yeah.
But all jokes aside, like the fact that she just stood her ground on the first rebuke, just like, no.
Dude, how
makes you
bad would
wonder.
that I didn't even think about that, but how fucking bad would that suck when you pull, like, you skip the subtleties. You're like, I'm pulling the nuke out, bitch. Watch this. And then she just goes, no.
Yeah, and
Oh.
and sent it hard enough to where it like hurt your ears, like it caused you pain.
Yeah,
Like,
it's no joke. It's no joke.
I do wonder, like, what would happen if like he did go through with it? What kind of weird, like,
I don't know.
weird pact would be made, I guess.
It would be interesting to talk with somebody who has.
Yeah. I have heard of certain cases of people rebuking entities by just claiming their power for themselves, not necessarily using the name of Jesus, or just saying like I hold power over myself, and
Right.
it had the same effect. I've read a couple instances
That's interesting.
of that. I don't know if it was the same beings, what beings it worked on, but I have stumbled across a few of those. So, and like we heard in Hellfire Forum, like it's almost like some of these ancient entities, I don't feel like recognize the name. There's no reason for it to be afraid of. So you got to have some other arsenals in your backpack there. But when he described her walking away like a foal that didn't know how its legs worked, it's gross.
Creepy. Yeah, it's creepy. And you physically hear it bouncing off the walls and shit. Like that's real life.
Bigfoot Society, did you just hit us with Nephilim?
Yes, I saw that.
It's going up. It's going on the screen.
That was a good one.
That's solid. That's solid. But anywho, it is about that time. We are closing in.
Yep, I'm tired. I'm getting beat down.
Yeah, Jeff, hold that thought. It's weird that your calls aren't going through, but apparently nobody's calls are working that well because they EMP'd the system.
They didn't do a good enough job because we're
No.
still here.
No. Anywho, thanks for hanging out with us. We had a lot of people in here tonight. I looked over there one time and there's like 96. It was
Oh, no
cool.
shit. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I just keep
And
seeing a fucking mosquito flying around my room or something.
it's a tree nymph.
He's probably, yeah. Well, it's about to get squished. So if you're a tree nymph, I'm not trying to mean you no harm here.
You're about to get squished. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
mean you no harm.
I mean, I'm just saying, if that's the case, then you need to skedat because you're
Mhm.
going to get smashed here in a second.
We all heard you give it fair warning.
Thank you. See? Proof.
But again, thank you everybody for hanging out. Thanks for the chat. Chat was bussin'. Support all our content creator pals. You know the drill. Homework. Share the episodes that come out. Share the show. The landscape of the podcast world is changing again as far as downloads go and what's happening. Anybody that uses Google Podcasts, that goes away April 1st. So that's another hit on all of us out here trying to create content.
Yeah.
So be sure to share the show as much as possible. We appreciate it. Y'all do good work. But it's time to kick into overdrive
Let's do
time.
this.
So everybody out there, stay safe, stay weird. And if a horsebus, Nephilim, if you will, tries to seduce you, just do what our friend did. Rebuke it. Turn it down in the name of Jesus.
Or stun it.
Or give it a stone cold stunner.